Good morning. We're in Abergavenny again, and today I'm going to do the one way up the Sugar Loaf and one way down from the Sugar Loaf. I think in my mind really there's probably I don't know, there's loads of ways up, probably 4 or 5 ways down. That's just, well, way more than that probably, but I tend to do 2 or 3 walks in and around the area. And it's the very first walk that I did, gosh, maybe 10 years ago, one Sunday morning. I just wanted to point out also where I've parked. So I've parked on Avenue Road, down by the cricket club. And why I've parked down there is because this gives you good access actually to the lane that takes you up the Sugar Loaf. And as you can see, there's people who live around here. And I don't like parking where I can sort of get in the way of people who live in the area, you know, so I try and park out of the way. The best option I think really is to park in Abergavenny itself. It's got loads of cafes, bars, restaurants, shops, so you can park there really. That would be nice, I think, after the walk, to go for a bit of cake and a coffee. So we're walking up Chapel Lane now, and we'll come to the gate, turn right, and then pretty much that will be set off. Okay. So this is Pentre Road, and this road joins onto Porth Park Lane. Just before you start the lane, there's a little left path which goes behind the tree. If I can show you. There we go. Somebody coming down there now. So if you follow the lane up, you still get to the Sugar Loaf, just a different way. But just there's cars coming up and down constantly because there's a little car park at the top. People tend to park there to cut out the lane, and then you can take a left and go up the Sugar Loaf. But I prefer to go through this little path that we're going to go on now. Cuts out the lane, it's not dealing with any traffic, and then it's a different route up the Sugar Loaf, which I think is probably the hardest route up. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the hardest route up, and then a nice walk back through the valley to come down, and we'll come back to this lane then, as you'll see later on. Okay. Whew. Taking my jacket off already. So hot. It's quite warm. Should have put a t-shirt on really. Put a long sleeve on, but then again, always at the top in this time of year, always a little bit windy and a bit chilly. There we go, so we're just leaving the lane and now we're going into St Mary's Vale Wood. The path is so obvious, just basically takes you all the way to the top. Doesn't seem to be anyone around today, which is lovely. This mountain, because it hasn't got a car park pretty much underneath it, and it's quite a trek up to it, does put a lot of people off, so it is a great, I think a better walk than Pen y Fan, although, you know, everyone wants to get the highest peak under their belt, so and it's fantastic the amount of people that go out anyway. You know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Getting out, hopefully Maybe your kids are into it as well. This is great. Get them introduced to the Welsh mountains and the valleys and the hillsides and the woods and the farmland. What more could you ask for, really? These beautiful trees. It's an oak tree, and they're called Cecil oak, and they've become sort of like a national tree of Wales. They're different from the English oak, because they're more sort of, I don't know, they're sort of all shapes really. They sort of grow quite Gothic, I suppose is a word for it. But as we're coming out of winter, there's not a lot of foliage on them at the moment, but in summer this is pretty much all green, and it's beautiful. And they're quite, because of the type of oak that it is, it was favoured by shipbuilders and barrels, making barrels, I suppose barrels of whiskey or beer or whatever, but yeah, but they are, but it's a beautiful, beautiful tree. There we go, so we've just left St Mary's Vale Wood. And in the background you should be able to see Abergavenny in the distance at the bottom. So as you can see, it's quite a climb up, and you get all that beautiful background as well. But then what's in front of you as you come out of the woods, you come up to the little top, is the Sugar Loaf in front of you. And there it is. Right directly behind me is the Brycheiniog, and obviously we're going up the Sugar Loaf, and then over to the right is the Skirrid, just there. We are in the Black Mountains of the Bannau Brycheiniog, which is the Brecon Beacons, and I believe that they're called the Black Mountains because from a distance, because of the heather and the red sandstone, gives it a really dark shade, especially when the clouds are going over it as well. And I think that's why they're called the Black Mountains. So there's definitely plenty of heather up here, for sure. As you can see, yeah, there's quite a lot of people. Some sitting down, some going up, some coming down, all taking their time, people on their own, couples, children, dogs. No sheep yet though, don't see any sheep. Pretty much at the top now. Shortly we'll be to the summit and then head to the trig point. But yeah, doing it without stopping, which is great, even though I do feel a bit tired. And right back here, as is always the case, the wind. Non-stop wind on the Sugar Loaf. and if it is windy at the top, you have these nice little sitting areas on either side of the ridge, so depending which way the wind is blowing, you can then just, you know, have 5 minutes before you head down, just like get out to the wind, and if needs be put a jacket on, hats or gloves, or like I like to do, just have a pastry, or buy the co-op as I usually do on the way up. Got myself a custard pastry, banana, tangerine and some water. So there's multiple ways down. You can always go back down the way you came up, but there's another way down. Oh, there's multiple ways. So I think rather than confusing it and sort of trying to point out the other ways down, I'll just go ahead and come down, film this one, and then I'll come back up at some other point and film the other ways up and down. Could make a little bit of a series, I suppose. Sugar Loaf series. It could be interesting if you fancied watching that. There's some nice sort of rocky bits. Interesting to stand on and climb over. There we go, starting to warm up now, the wind is dropping. Oh, that's better. Again. So just up there is where I was just sat. This walk is actually on the website, so what I'll do is I'll put a link to this walk in the description below, and you can pick that up. There's the footage, we have all the GPX files, images, the route, explain where to park, and everything you need really to sort of navigate this particular walk. Wanted to point out as well where we are going to head down. There is a focal point from the top which you can see. There's like see this tree, this sort of like triangle of trees that runs down through the valley there. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up this path that runs straight to the tree line, to the top of the tree line, and when you get there you'll see there's a gate which you just jump over, and then you follow the woods all the way down through the valley. So this is the gate I was talking about, and as you can see it's just on the tree line, like I was trying to describe from the top. So yeah, just go straight through, and then we'll go down through. I can get the gate open. Oh, bugger it, just go faster.
Are you going to do it then?
I'll see if I can
sneak
crack.
through. So I don't.
Here we go, you got it. There's the Sugar Loaf. And there we go, coming to the end of the walk now. So just gonna sort of leave the countryside, if you like, and it's coming up to the car park, which is at the top of the lane, which we'll leave behind and head right down the lane, which will take us back to the car. And there we go, back to the start of the circular. We just come out of the lane, so we're back onto Pentre Road. So it's just basically down to the gate at the end of the road where we parked, and that's it, back to the car, wherever you parked.